Welcome everyone. My name is Petra Izeboud of FloodTags, and I will be talking to you about how FloodTags uses apps and online data to get flood information. So we participated in two challenge fund projects, one for the Philippine Red Cross and one for the Tanzanian Red Cross. Okay, so to start with how we use apps. Our app makes use of many other apps, such as Twitter, blogs, forums, news articles, and anything that is publicly available on which people post flood information. I mean, just imagine your street is flooded, someone will take a picture of it and post it online. So people share and we listen, and people share a lot. So media content can have peaks of over 100,000 messages per flood event. Why do this? When we started for the Philippines, the problem was that they had 2 million volunteers, more than 20 flood events per year, but they couldn't get that data organized. So the aim for the project was to provide them with an app that gave them real-time flood information. That way they would know what was happening where and they could get organized better. In the left here we see the Philippine Red Cross using the FloodTags dashboard, and in the right we see a screenshot of the FloodTags dashboard, and you can see how all the dots represent information that is being shared. And that information contains all sort of different quality and quantity. So for example, in the left we have Maslow town, and you get a really quick overview of the situation and what's going on there. But there's also very detailed information. So for example, in the top right we see Pasay City, and you see a photo with text that states exactly which cross-section the photo is taken and what the water depth is at that moment. Up to now, I've been explaining how we listen to what people were already saying. Now, for Tanzania, we tried to improve this concept even further by activating volunteers to report to us directly. For this, we created a chatbot that's activated in a group with now over 130 disaster managers and volunteers throughout Tanzania, who can use this to report floods to the dashboard. So we'll ask things like, can you send a photo? Can you share your location? Can you leave your phone number? This is viewed by people from the Tanzanian Red Cross on the dashboard and is then used to report back to the volunteers and to organize what action should be taken. So the chatbot also led to one of the main challenges, which was how to keep the volunteers motivated to report. We tried to do this by sending them specific flood information whenever they would be in the app. So we would reward them for using the bot, including them in a wider perspective. So for the Philippines, we had a different challenge, and that was how to make it fit to context. And I think we succeeded in that really well by co-designing every step of the design together with the Philippine Red Cross. This is also what has led to one of our biggest successes, which is that our software is not only useful, but that it's also actually being used. So on the right here, we see a letter from May, who's the director of the Philippine Red Cross, and she states that on many occasions the tool has proved its value. FloodTags alerts us of new floods very fast, and the system verifies what our volunteers are reporting on the ground. In Tanzania, we also have similar positive reviews where, for example, Renades, who is Director Disaster Management for the Tanzanian Red Cross Society, says that the dashboard helps them to validate what is happening on the ground. So last but not least, the recommendations. What we see is that the value of our software increases if we combine it with more different forms of data. So every data source has its strengths and its weaknesses. So we would be very happy to work together with other mobile reporting apps and see if we can combine those strengths. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope we can have a good discussion.